Greetings, fellow midnight screeners. Tiki here,
And Jacob Wile, too.
and welcome to another anticipated episode of Tiki's Universe. It's the all-encompassing show on the So You Want to Be an Imagineer YouTube channel where we talk about current animated series, Steven Universe, Star vs. Force of Evil, which are both on hiatus until November, unfortunately, and currently Milo Murphy's Law. That's right. So, Jacob, I believe this is technically the first week that no, not technically the first week that we've been able to cover 2 episodes, but this is the first week where we can just rightfully say, like, okay, this is episode 3A and 3B. There's no confusion. I'm so glad.
Yeah, seriously.
So, we can finally, like, get all the chronological nonsense of the way they broke up the pilot out of the way. Thank God. All right, so we meet a new character in this episode. We meet Milo's sister, Sarah. Jacob, anything about this voice actress?
Yeah, her name is Kate Micucci. I don't know much about her.
Okay, I'm just like, I know you're kind of keeping track on the Phineas and Ferb voice actors, which I know nothing about. So
She might have been a guest star might have been a guest star, but I don't know.
Okay, so Jacob, let's just dive right into it. This episode explores probably one of the theories you have. It's not really official or anything, but it definitely gets into, like, I can see some hints of your theory where the female side of the Murphy family is generally not very affected by Murphy's Law, and Milo in the male side is more of kind of like the orbit of chaos around which everything rotates.
I mean, the main reason I got that was because of, like, we saw his dad in Sunny Side Up, and for some reason he rode a bike through a fence and crashed into a car.
Right.
Well, and we know how Milo is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we saw his mom. Well, she's not naturally a Murphy. She got that into marriage, so I can understand why she's not like that.
Of course.
But the thing is, I'm just wondering if, like, Sarah herself didn't really seem to have, like, create catastrophic bad luck like Milo usually does. I mean, even in this episode, Milo didn't cause that much bad luck.
Which is an interesting thing about this episode, is that I feel like the show is exploring more and more kind of the potential for this whole bad luck angle and the crazy things happening. The next episode, The Note, is definitely more in line with the pilot episode of the series. It's just kind of like an escalating series of events. But I feel like this episode is a little bit more toned down in a good way. It's more character focused.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing, though. Like, Phineas and Ferb had their moments where, like, it was spread out chaos, and then it had some room for character development as well.
Sure.
But like I said, that kind of confirms, like, this doesn't straight out confirm what I said. Like, it's strictly on the male side. Who knows? She might have her own streak of bad luck. I mean, like Milo said, Murphy's Law is unpredictable. Who knows? She might have her own streak of bad luck, or came from him.
All right, so the whole premise of the episode, Jacob, is something I can't relate to the Doctor Who side of it. This is something that I run into a lot where Super Academy does it. They have their own Doctor Who parody. And by the way, Super Academy, go to hotchocolatemedia.net for the Movie Machine podcast. But I've run into it several times where it's like the Doctor Who parody, and it just kind of goes over my head a little bit.
One of the writers on the show is a huge fan of Doctor Who.
I mean, that's fair enough. Doctor Who has a huge legacy behind it, but I guess I can definitely relate to the Zach and Melissa side of things. Except, unlike them, I'm not even willing to, like, dive into it because there's just so much there. I wouldn't know where to start. So,
it's cool they got into it, though. I would do it like that.
Sure. They're more accepting of something. Like I said, it's not the fact that I'm turned off by the show. It's more the fact that there's so much of a giant chronological legacy behind it. It's just daunting for someone to jump into it. But anyway, so we get a quick, like, parody of the Doctor Who theme song and then dive right into I really like I mean, there's not really a lot I can say in terms of, like, oh, I understand that reference from Doctor Who or anything like that, but the absurdity of it is fun. The time ape, and then the fact that the Doctor randomly has a present, like a gift box present, as a hand.
You know who does the voice of Dr. Zone?
No, tell me.
Have you heard of Have you heard of what was it? Jermaine Clement?
I've heard of him. Yes.
I forget who's like he's with I forget the band he's in. It was an HBO series. I forget what it was called.
Flight of the Conchords.
Oh yeah, that's it. He was in that.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, he was a fan of Phineas and Ferb, and he wanted to do this. They got him to do this.
So we get that quick parody. The president is foiling his attempt to hit a button.
And Time Ape.
Yes, and Time Ape. God bless Time Ape. Then we see, I really like Sarah and Milo's bond this episode, Jacob. Of course, we're in Disney XD territory, the high watermark. Great, my emphasis on high. Very, very high watermark to hit for sibling relationship dynamics is Gravity Falls, of course. So I'm going to be curious to see if this show can hold up to that high standard.
All right.
I'm sorry, I hyped that up way too much, but I like it so far. I like this dynamic so far a lot. I think it was a great introduction to the character of Sarah. This is a very, very minor nitpick. I wish her name was something a little less generic than Sarah. Very minor nitpick. It's not a big deal at all. Just it's not a very memorable name. I don't know, something like Savannah or something, just off the top of my head, like something besides just a generic name, but it's not a big deal. Anyway. So I like, like we said, Zach and Melissa are kind of like the unwilling participants in this. Like,
well, it seemed like they willingly went along with it. I mean,
they did, but at the same time, they're kind of like regretting their decision to agree to it. Zach has a great line, like, "My hand is asleep. How I envy it.
How I envy it."
And then we get something I can relate to as someone who's on the fringes of people who are Doctor Who fans, where, Zach's kind of questioning, like, didn't we see the whole thing last night? And Milo's just like, no.
No.
Touching him in the car. No.
He went into the long history of...
Okay, I have the list. Jacob. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, first there was The Zone. Then there was Doctor Zone. Then there was Professor Zone. And then my personal favorite.
Mine too.
Adjunct faculty member zone.
That only lasted for a semester.
Oh God. And then
favorite.
finally the Dr. Zone files.
Adjunct faculty member.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that is but a hint of the actual incarnations of Doctor Who over the years. So
Indeed.
But oh God, and another great gag, Jacob, is
but Dr. Zone didn't have but Doctor Who didn't have a time traveling ape.
Goddamn right. Are you sure about that?
Well, maybe. That's long history.
Are you sure Doctor Who has never had a time traveling ape at some point?
I mean,
I'm not entirely sure.
So I wouldn't be. He has companions with him, so I don't know if he ever had a rock on his head before.
Oh God.
Forgive us, Doctor Who fans out there.
Okay, so speaking of elitist, we have elitist Dr. Zone fans, and this is a great gag, Jacob. Just another great sight gag. We have these fancy smancy two women sitting in a tea parlor sipping tea. Oh yes, they're like so elitist, and we think they're part of the line, but no, they're actually just right outside of the line. Oh, what are those dreadful people wearing? Oh God. Okay, let's see. Kind of speed this up a little bit. So Sarah's kind of, she's used to the bad luck that comes with Milo. We get the line about how she's been Milo's sister ever since he was born, which kind of implies, Jacob, a little bit maybe that she hasn't had bad luck her whole life.
Yeah, but she doesn't seem to mind it either. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most likely because it's her brother. I mean, it's clear that she deeply cares about her brother, no matter what happens around him.
Oh yeah.
Which is a good thing, because a lot of people could write that off and try to distance themselves from him.
Certainly. Oh, by the way, Jacob, that reminds me. You know why these two episodes are my two favorite episodes of the series so far?
Why?
Because they don't have Bradley in it.
I was kind of hoping you wouldn't bring that up.
I'm sorry. I'm just ribbing you at this point. I'm sorry, but
not really necessary. Just all right.
I'm just playing around. Come on. I don't really dislike Bradley that much. I really don't. So
I get it.
Okay, so let's see. So while Milo and Sarah are kind of dealing with, blockading the line, making sure like they're having like these tin can fences around their spot in the line and everything. And they also go off to get pistachios.
Right, she's preparing for every eventuality that could potentially happen, like trying to make it like, is there a way to fuse paper and flesh?
Which is something I can very much relate to. Jacob, do you remember when midnight screenings actually used to be a thing before this like bogus like Thursday at 7 p.m. screening thing started happening?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember that time? Like, like Revenge of the Sith, Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh man, good times.
I did one for one of Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, the Harry Potter movies, of course. Those were like, I want to say maybe Deathly Hallow Part 2 was like one of the last ones my theater actually did that was a real midnight screening. Now the latest one they do is 10 p.m.
Yeah, well, this isn't exactly midnight. It's kind of midday, but I get the idea, yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, you're right. It is at midnight. That's a fair point, Jacob. But it is very much like the experience of waiting in line for a movie. So
yeah, I mean, so that part is relatable. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
On to those pistachio guys.
The pistachios.
It's pronounced pistachio.
I assume these guys are supposed to be New Yorkers.
They're actually voiced by the creators of the show.
Oh, okay.
And from what I've been led to understand, they will be appearing more often.
Well, yeah, I mean, we caught them in the background of the parade during the note, so yeah, I assume they're definitely going to be reoccurring characters for sure, kind of background characters.
Yep.
Let's see. Meanwhile, we have Melissa and Zach kind of getting into an argument with these fanboys about Time Ape.
Fanboy and fangirl, yeah.
Oh god. So Time Ape is an interdimensional being, and it's got just this very grotesque design, which is essentially just like a bunch of eyeballs and a big blob. And
our minds can't comprehend it.
Yeah, and if regular people see it, then what happens?
Their minds explode.
And we actually see a head exploding in a Disney XD show.
It wasn't bloody or anything. It's just like,
no, it wasn't bloody, but we still see it. Like it doesn't even cut away. It actually like happens. A head actually explodes. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Not complaining about it. Certainly not complaining about it. Just want to point it out. But anyways. Yep. So
you know, there were some things in the show.
So wait a minute, you're saying the form that's easier for us to comprehend is an ape with a clock for its head?
Like, do you want your head to explode?
Oh god.
Like, yeah.
Also, really quick, I love DOG, the Pet Theater.
The Dog Door Bone Files.
Yes.
Like, they didn't throw in the he's not supposed to be.
No, unfortunately. But you know what? If they throw it in every episode, then it would probably get old. So I like that they're kind of spacing it out.
I know, like they could have like, yeah, he's not supposed to be in the movie line.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't really think it works unless it's a very, very specific location. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that. Not supposed to be in the river or the road or something like that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if he showed up at the end and goes into the movie theater, they could be like, he's not supposed to be in the movie theater.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Just waiting in line, it's just kind of like on the side of the street. So yeah, I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah, it wouldn't make much sense here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the next one they could have definitely worked it in, but we'll talk about that.
He's not supposed to be at the paper factory.
All right, let's when the Murphy's Law actually catches up to them while they're talking about the pistachios,
mm-hmm.
And it causes it to blow up.
Oh yeah, just accelerate, just launch out into the stratosphere.
Yep, and then for some reason they disappear.
Or did they?
bum, bum,
bum. The end. Question mark.
I like when Melissa said, she sure has a thing for punctuation.
Yeah, which I like that as a character trait.
It's kind of like a double joke too, because she wants to be on time and she puts emphasis on punctuation.
Sure. Okay, so I like how this gag pays off about Zach and Melissa getting in a fight about their theory about Time 8 being the brother of Dr. Zone. That's a fun payoff.
Yeah, like they say, like, that can't happen. That's ridiculous.
and then the fanboy goes into this the Zone Monkey fighting stance. Oh god.
Yeah.
I really love some of this playful ribbing on fan culture. It's great.
Trust me. I'm part of some fan cultures. They can get like that.
Oh yeah.
Some people can be very protective over their fandoms.
You mean all the people that are protesting to boycott Disney over Tower of Terror at California Adventure? Yeah, I know exactly what that's like.
I didn't even hear that, but
the Guardians of the Galaxy makeover.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's not important. I refuse to make a video about it. It's so unimportant. But I'm sorry. Anyways, so Sarah puts her tickets down in order to make a rousing speech about fandom.
It was actually her helmet, but she accidentally put down the tickets along with it, not realizing.
Okay, yeah, right. On a car.
Yes.
She makes a rousing speech about fandom. Fantasy means phantasm, which is Greek, which means to show.
Yeah, that's what Milo steps in. She's like, fantasy is and that's when Milo steps in, and she's like, it's not about sharing it. It's not about something you love. It's about sharing it with someone you love.
Then we see kind of a flashback of she loses her ice cream, and then Milo shares his with her, which is nice. Very nice sibling stuff this episode.
Which is actually something shown earlier, but we didn't see that part. It's like something like she's talking about the disasters that occurred around her life, like which included a train going through her backyard.
Kind of reminds me of Gravity Falls. Again, I'm sorry, I hate to make the comparison, but yeah, I'm saying that in a good way, though. I'm saying that in like, okay, this sibling dynamic has me hooked in the same way that Dipper and Mabel did to a certain extent. It's not going to be the focal point of the show like that was with Gravity Falls, but I digress.
Yeah, like some disasters that happened. It was like a train going through their backyard for some. I want to know the explanation behind that one.
Right.
And we know what happened at the next one. Like at the putt-putt course, the windmill came off and decapitated a dinosaur.
Oh God.
like I said, and we know the ice cream thing, but I want to know what happened. Why did the train? Where did that come from? We'll never know. And she says she's pretty much seen everything. I mean, like once you see it.
And also, we established in the series that a train that gets derailed isn't as impressive as it looks.
Yeah.
So that's already established. So it's not like a train can just derail and then just go for miles.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed.
Kind of underwhelmed.
Yes. But yeah, that's when we see the continuation of that flashback, in which he shares they gladly share the ice cream together.
Mm-hmm. So
that proves they're like on good terms and like ideal like friend, brother, and sister relationship they have.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the episode ends where they lose the tickets. Sarah realizes she set them down on the car, which speeds off. And I must say, that's like maybe a little bit of subtle bad luck on Sarah's part, perhaps.
I call it more absent-mindedness.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, you're probably right. It could be considered bad luck. But I'd say it's more nothing like outright happened to them. It's like it's more like
it's interesting. Actually, the only major thing that happens in terms of the Murphy's Law thing is
the pistachio thing.
Yeah, the pistachios. Right. Of course.
I mean, she could have put the tickets in her pocket.
That's what everyone keeps telling me when I lose shit. Put it in your pocket.
I know, but like I said. I mean, it's not really much of a nitpick. It's just like absent-mindedness. Like probably it is a bit of. Maybe she has some residual Murphy's Law.
Perhaps. But
unpredictable.
Yeah, and speaking of unpredictable, the pistachio factory or the
factory, not the factory, the stand, which was launched into the stratosphere, comes crashing down onto the movie theater. And they get to see the movie after all.
Yay! And then the time Maeve actually was Dr. Zone's brother.
Newbie.
Like, wait, there's a hole in the wall.
I know, right? I love how nobody acknowledges that. Like, when you think that would fuck up the screen, like, there'd be a really, really bad glare on the screen.
Probably.
Anyways, it's not important. It's a cartoon, which is why I love the series.
But was it almost as if, like, an hour or so in the movie had passed? Like, it looked like it was going to be the end of the movie or something.
That's actually a good point. It's like, they just get into the movie theater. Like, hypothetically, the trailers probably wouldn't have even started yet if they were just letting people into the movie theater.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a minor it's a minor thing.
Yeah. So, final thoughts?
I do like this. It's a good episode. Like, focuses on their positive relationship and even a good jabs at fandom there, like, which some of us are all guilty of.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've had your fandoms that you'd fight to the teeth for.
Oh God! Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Disney fans can be surprisingly hostile.
Trust me, I've been in that boat before.
But no, I like this episode a lot. It's not quite as good as the next episode that we got this week, but it was very good setup for the character of Sarah. I'm excited to see where they go with that. Like I said, big benchmark to fill with Dipper and Mabel, and now that dynamic is off of Disney XD, it's like, okay, let's see if they can recapture some of that magic. And again, Jacob, I'm going to try my very best not to compare it that much, but I like the character so far. I really like the character. And like you said, just really fun jabs at fandom in general, and brings me back to the nostalgia of waiting in line for movies, which is something that, I mean, I showed up for Star Wars The Force Awakens like 20 minutes before they let people in, and I was fine. So it's just something that doesn't exist anymore, apparently. But anyways.
Nice screenings. I think they got rid of them because of danger or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I would be like walking home is like a 16-year-old at 3 a.m. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks for joining us, folks, and remember, it's his world, and we're all living in it.
Yes.
He's not supposed to be in line for the movies.